All right, as I just said, God chose to use people as his solution or his answer to sin. So God continues to desire us to be cooperative friends in his creation. So he uses the people of Israel, and I'm just going to give a very brief overview of who these people are and what a covenant is, because we need to understand this if we're going to understand the rest of the Bible. So right here, the word that you see here in the Hebrew script is Shema, and that means listen or to hear. And that is something that defines the Israelites, is this one word, because it stood for a little verse that said, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one, and you will love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength." And this was to be passed on from parents to children in perpetuity, just as that's there to be a people defined by the relationship with God. And so that is there, like through them, God's reign was to be established here on earth. All right, so where do these folks live? Well, we're over here in New Brunswick, and the rest of the Bible is written, or for the Old Testament anyway, is written in this region here in the Middle East. Abraham was taken from a place in near Mesopotamia, and he was called by God to go to a different place, the place where God would show him, and God would establish a covenant with him. And that covenant, amongst other things, said that Abraham would be the father of many nations and that the whole world would be blessed through him. So God's rescue mission involved the choice of taking Abraham away from his family and becoming the kind of and becoming the head of a group of people that were in relationship with God in a particular way. So um, let's see now. So Abraham was did there's nothing special about him other than the fact that he believed God. And in Genesis chapter 15 it says that it was accredited to him as righteousness, or he was upright in the eyes of God because he trusted God. So God made a covenant with Abraham. So the next question is, well, what's a covenant? A covenant is an agreement between two parties that they will be in relationship with each other and they will live in a particular way. A covenant is reflected in weddings and in the Jewish wedding ceremony beautifully. One of the things that happens in a Jewish wedding ceremony is that a glass of wine is poured for the groom and the bride, and they take turns drinking from that cup until the wine is gone. Now, the wine is a symbol of life or vitality, and they're saying to each other, we're going to consume life together. And once they've made that commitment or that act, the glass is wrapped up and the groom stomps on the glass and it's shattered. And basically it says, if we break this agreement, we're going to be shattered just like this cup. And that's what happens when divorce happens. It fractures relationships, not just the bride and the groom, but the kids and the wider family and friends are just broken apart because of this broken bond between a husband and wife. So God established a covenant with Abraham. He said, if you follow me, if you believe me, then I will make you the father of many nations, and the whole world will be blessed through you. So Abraham, his faith didn't just call him out of his homeland. When he was really, really old, he and Sarah, his wife, had a baby named Isaac. And so that's them on the left there. And then later on, this child of promise was like the first fruits, where through Isaac there's going to just be a whole lot of children born. That's the hope. But Abraham was tested again by God up at the top right hand corner. He said, do you want me or do you want the promise more? And he ordered Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. And then Abraham did, because he trusted God, and then God provided a ram. You may see it there in the right hand edge of the picture. And he spared Isaac. And then Isaac gave birth to Jacob and Esau. And then Jacob, the promise goes on to him, gives birth to 12 sons. And then Joseph is special too. He's there in the bottom. And Joseph is the one who takes his people down to Egypt, where like 100 years later they're enslaved for 400 years. But these are the patriarchs. This is important to know, because this is the tribes come from these people. So you see, Abraham gave birth to Isaac. Isaac gave birth to Esau and Jacob gave birth to a lot of kids, right there, as you can see. And Judah, number 4 from Leah, that's the tribe through which Jesus was born. Okay, so that's a really quick overview of the patriarchs. It's good to know the stories. It's good to see how God relates to them and works with them, even though they're full of character flaws. So for the activity, choose one of the following Old Testament stories where Abraham offers to sacrifice Isaac in Genesis 22, where Jacob has strange dreams in Genesis 28, and where Joseph's brothers sell him in Genesis 37. Read the passage on your own, and you can draw the scene or write about it or just think about it, and let me know your thoughts. Email them to me. And then for the rest of us in class, we'll actually do this together. But you can also put it on the Facebook group. All right. See you next week.